But wait, there's more. I am so sorry. I totally forgot about this. In fact, I think I'm going to put this clip at the beginning of the video. So welcome everyone to the final week of Rest, Relax, and Enjoy the View, the landscape diamond painting event that I'm co-hosting with Mindy from Mindy's Diamond Moment. This is just a little blurb. I forgot to do it in the main body of the video, but I just wanted to pop on again and tell you, but I'm going to put this in the front of my video because it is a rather long video, and if you don't want to watch all the way to the end to hear this, I understand. So this is my week to ask you a bonus question. So this is your extra credit question for this week, which is the final week. So this, if you answer this question, the post will go up in the Facebook group. It should be up there now in the Facebook group Diamond Moments and Crafts if you're participating in the event. And the extra credit point for this week is going to be an answer to the question: while you are at your destination, resting, relaxing, and enjoying the view, how will you be getting around? Will you be hiking? Will you be snowmobiling? Will you be riding a horse and buggy? Will you be skiing? Will you be driving around? Will you be boating? The possibilities are endless. So just let me know how you would be getting around while you're in your destination. All right? All right. So without further ado, here's more of me. All right. Thanks, guys. Hello, everybody. It's Angie. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I am doing fine, if not just a wee bit tired. I stayed up all night last night again. Don't know what my deal is, but I just have been having a really hard time sleeping lately again. Seems to go in cycles, where I do well for a couple months and then I have a couple weeks where I just can't sleep. So I've been busy. As you can see, I've been mostly busy crocheting. So this WIP and Chat today is probably going to be a little bit more of you guys whipping and me chatting and just showing you stuff and talking about what I have done this week is probably going to take up most of the video. But we'll get to diamond painting, I promise. So I want to share with you a little bit of yarn haul that I came across and my plans for that, and my birthday gift, and we've got to talk about the prize for Rest, Relax, and Enjoy the View. So today, and you know what, just in case you don't want to hear me ramble on about, well, first I'm going to talk about my projects of the week, and then I'm going to, you know, show you my yarn that I got, and then I'll start diamond painting. But in case you don't want to hear me yammer on about all of that stuff, we'll just take care of the prize portion right away. So this is the last weekly prize giveaway announcement for the hashtag Rest, Relax, and Enjoy the View diamond painting event, co-hosted with Mindy from Mindy's Diamond Moment. And if you're participating in that event and you would like to win a prize that I will be giving away next Thursday, I realize that'll be after the 1st, but that'll be my next WIP and Chat. So I will be awarding that prize next Thursday. So you have between now and then to submit, to enter to win this prize. And the way you'll do that is through the comments portion of this video. So if you would just leave a comment in the comment section of this video, and if you could just make sure that you use the word landscape somewhere in your comment. That way I know that when I'm choosing the prize winner, it's somebody who has participated in the event, and I won't have to stumble through, you know, other comments when I'm doing when I'm picking out the winner. So what is the prize, you're probably wondering, as you're just sitting here looking at my pile of yarn. The prize for this week is another beautiful cover minder from Cover Minder Shaban on Etsy. I really wanted to keep this one. I love it so much. I'm a big fan of mushrooms, and look at that. Isn't it just beautiful, sparkly, and cool? Another 7-pack of washi tape that is landscape themed, and I wish you could see that. I wish that glare wasn't there from the sunlight coming in the window, but it represents every season. I think I've got it upside down. Well, some of them are upside down and some of them aren't. But they're landscape themed washi tapes, and there's some from each and every season on there. So that's really cool stuff. I think there's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 rolls of washi tape there. And then you'll get to choose between either, in addition to those 2 things, you'll also get to choose between either a tin of Patty Wax Super Sticky or a Craftmates Lockables 56 grid storage system for diamond painting. Both of these are 2 of my favorite things, so I couldn't decide which one to give away, so I'm going to let whoever wins can choose whichever one of those 2 things they would like as part of their prize package. All right, so if that's the only reason you were here, that part's done. You know what to do. If you're here to chit-chat with me, welcome, and I'm glad. I hope everyone will stay, but I understand if you're busy and whatnot, or if you just don't feel like listening to me ramble about yarn. It's not going to be the whole time, isn't going to be rambling about yarn. Don't worry. Okay, so let's talk about what I did this week. I got some progress done on diamond paintings, but it's so, you're not going to notice the difference if I hauled all the canvases in here that I worked on and showed you what I had done. You're not going to really notice a difference between last week and this week, so I didn't do that. But I have a lot of crochet stuff that I did this week. So let's start with the newest thing that I did, hot off the hook this morning. I worked these up last night. I made mittens. And the thing that I loved about this pattern for mittens is how long the cuff part is. And it's not really like a ribbed cuff or anything. It's just a single crocheted cuff like the rest of the mitt. But I really liked it. I liked this pattern a lot. Oh, one thing I did want to mention also, all of my crochet patterns are, well, almost all of them are from YouTube videos that I've watched. So, and I have a playlist in my playlist tab of my channel. If you're interested in any of these patterns, I have a playlist that's named Crochet. And all of these patterns are in that playlist. If you're interested in any of the patterns, I went ahead and did that. So I made these mitts last night because I've got a story about these mittens. Well, I'll tell you right now, you don't care. So yesterday morning, I went with I had to take my dad. Yesterday was my birthday, by the way, so happy belated birthday to me. I had to take my dad to the eye doctor. He had to go for a recheck from his cataract surgery, and they had to dilate his pupils so he could not drive. So I had to go, he asked me if I would take him, and I said sure, and we were going to go get breakfast for my birthday afterwards. So I went to pick him up at 8:30 in the morning, and it was -4 degrees when I got in my car, when I went to leave here, and I stupidly didn't warm the car up. I don't know what I was thinking. -4 degrees. So I'm driving down the road, and I decide that I need to clean my windshield. Stupid, rookie, amateur, dumb move. So I flick the thing for my windshield wiper fluid, and it immediately freezes. I mean, I swear it probably froze midair, but it covers my windshield in a glaze of blue ice. And I'm immediately blind. Cannot see the road ahead of me. Can't see where I'm going. My entire windshield just covered in blue ice. So I slammed down my 4-ways and quickly pulled over and had to sit there, and for a while I just sat there and tried to wait for it to heat up, but that wasn't working. So finally I found something. I didn't have a scraper in my car, stupid me. And so finally I found something I could scrape with, and I got out there and I was scraping the windshield wiper solvent off my windshield, and it was so frigidly cold. And I realized, and I didn't have gloves on or mittens. And I thought to myself, this is really stupid, Angie. You live in Michigan, for God's sake. Well, you want to know why I didn't have gloves or mittens? Because I don't own any. Yeah, that's right. I live in Michigan. I don't own gloves or mittens. Well, other than like big woolly bully like snowmobile gloves, I don't have like gloves or mitts just to wear on an everyday basis. So that's why I made these mittens, because I came home and I thought I am not going to get caught in the cold again with bare hands. So I came home and found a couple patterns, and this was the one I liked the best. So I came home and made these mittens. So that's why I made mitts. That's where the mitts come from. All right, what else did I make? So last week, okay, I went granny square crazy this week. It all started with Bag a Day Crochet is where it all started. So it all started with these guys here. So I have been looking for a use for my mandala yarn. It's a 3-weight yarn, and I don't really like working with light yarns like this. It's just not enjoyable to me. And I didn't know what I could do with it. So I was looking at Granny Square patterns, and she had a 4-in-1 video where she showed you how to make 4 different styles of granny squares. And she was using the Lion Brand mandala yarn, and I thought, kill 2 birds, right? So I have it in 2 different colorways. I have this one, which is I think called Brownie, and then I have another one called Sorcerer. And I got 4 of these squares out of 1 cake. So I made this one, which I think is just like beautiful and modern meets classy. I love it. And the way the colors worked out with this, I didn't color control it at all. It just happened to work out that way. And I think it looks really, really neat. So there's that one. Now this one came from this one came from the Brownie. That first one came from the Sorcerer ball, but this one came from the Brownie ball. And it's very, very pretty. It's a very pretty detailed pattern, but it doesn't really, it has bobble stitches and everything in it. It doesn't really show it off very well because so much of it is in black. So I did make that one again in this colorway. This was the Sorcerer, and you can see it a little bit better. So it has puff stitches and bobble stitches and all kinds of fancy stuff. So that one, and then there's this one, and this one I think is so beautiful. It's just so lacy and so pretty. Love this one. It's kind of simple, but I love the laciness of it. And I think what I'm going to do with these is I think I'm going to make wall decorations out of them. Emily has already expressed an interest, especially in a couple of the color schemes that worked out. So I think I'm going to make some framed wall hangings out of a couple of these. And then there is this one. Now, is this another one of the bobble stitch ones? It might be. Yeah, that might be the same pattern. So so far I've made 5. I'm on my 6th with this second ball of yarn. So I made those, and then I started looking at more Granny Square tutorial videos, because you know me, once I get on a kick, I just keep going with it. I don't know when to stop. So I saw these. This was also Bag a Day Crochet, and I don't know what, I haven't tucked tails or anything. I don't know what in the world I will ever do with these, but they sure were fun as hell to make. Aren't these adorable? This, oh, my little tulip got squished. And I just used yarn scraps for this, but I made this one. This one's my favorite, I think. This standing tulip, which would be pretty if this orange wasn't quite so bright. I think that this orange is a little bit too bright. And I used 4-weight yarn. I think it would have been prettier had I used a 3-weight yarn. It's just a little bulky. This one, which this pink is too bright too. This one. And this one, which I also love this one. The colors in this one I think are really pretty. So I made those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did that on Saturday, I think. Saturday and Sunday I worked on those. Then I found on the YouTube channel, The Crochet Crowd, another mandala pattern that I decided I would like to give a try. So I gave it a try, and I had this yarn, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. I had tried a few different patterns with this yarn, and I didn't like the way it was working up. And when I saw this this square, I thought this would be beautiful in this yarn. So this is Soft Secret by Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby. And I am going to make my stepmom a blanket out of these, a granny square Afghan. And I'm going to alternate the colors in each square. So I've got I've got 3 squares done. I'm going to alternate colors, and then every once in a while I'm going to throw in a solid square. So I've got this solid black square done, or actually I think it's called shale. It's not quite black. It's like a dark, dark charcoal gray. And then these 2, and then I'm halfway through a 4th with this pattern. And this one is really fun, and I mean, it looks fantastic, but it's actually pretty simple. It's not as complicated as it looks. And it has some texture to it. You know, it has some raised areas that I think look really nice. So I did those. And then I was having so much fun with that I thought, you know what? I want to do more complicated granny squares. So I found this channel called Sisters in Stitch. And they have what's called overlay. And if you know about crochet, I'm sure you know this. This is all new to me because I'm so new to crochet. It's called overlay crochet granny squares. And I worked up a couple squares using a couple of those different, that goes there, that's for later. Now, pay no attention to the colors on this. This was the first one that I did, and I used scrap yarn, and I just grabbed some, what I thought were going to be coordinating colors. It really didn't turn out that way. But I absolutely love the pattern. Love the pattern. So I went out and bought some yarn, and it's not finished yet. It still has rounds to go. It's going to be quite a big square. But I decided to stop here until I got the actual yarn that I wanted to use. I mean, I've got probably 6 hours into this square already. And I mean, kind of silly to spend that much time on something if this isn't even what I'm going to use as the finished product. So I did go buy colors that I would like to use for this square. But this is called the Lowly Low or Lilo Lee. I can't remember which. Granny square. And I love it. I love, love, love it. I'm going to make a blanket out of this. This is going to be like my masterpiece blanket. This is something I'll work on, you know, here and there. But look at all the ends on the back. I mean, there's a lot of color changes, and you're changing colors just about every row. But if you've got the right colors, it's going to look beautiful. It's going to look absolutely fantastic. So I did that one, and then they had another one that was called the Lotus, the Lotus. And this is the Lotus. Now this one I did a little bit better in choosing colors, but still not the best. And it's not finished. It still has several more rows that go around this background. And this is actually like a separate layer, what they mean by overlay. You've actually got several layers. I think there's like 4 layers in here on top of each other. You can see in the background there, behind there's a layer of pink that's not showing. I mean, it's showing a little bit, but not that much. And this one is very, very beautiful also, but it's very bulky and dense. I could see doing this out of a cotton, like a 3-weight cotton would be very, very pretty, but not for like a blanket or anything. So that's why I kind of stopped with this. I see what it is. I had fun doing it. I'm proud of myself that I did it, but I don't see a practical use for it. So I'm not going to continue with just the boring outside borders that still need to be done, because I'm never going to, I mean, especially with the colors that it is, I'm never going to do anything with it. But aren't you proud of me? I'm proud of me. It was a lot of work. I've probably got 8 hours into this. Yeah, this one was a ton of work. Just a lot of work. Okay, and then my last granny squares. I know that's a lot of granny squares, right? I found on Bag a Day Crochet. This is such a cool idea. This is called a pop-up granny, I think. I think it's called a pop-up granny. And you can see that they actually are three-dimensional. This little dome here is actually raised up. And but it's really easy and fun to make. And the way she did it is, she did a square. You can use scrap yarn because they're not very big squares. I think I used half a skein of each color for each of these two. The way she did it, she did 30 squares and she didn't repeat a color twice. So she had 30 different squares of all different colors, and then put a white single crochet edge around each of them, and then single crochet white to join them. Do a single crochet join in white. And I'm going to copy that exactly. So I have enough colors, I think, in my stash of regular just 4-weight acrylic that I'm going to be able to do this, and I'm going to make that blanket. I think it's going to look really, really good. Go ahead and check out that the picture of it. It's, like I said, it's in my playlist. It's like granny pop-up granny square or something like that. And see what the Afghan looks like when it's completed, because it looks really, really neat. So that I worked up these 2 squares so far in that pattern. And that's the end of my granny squares. So that was my fun little granny square adventure for the week. All of those squares. And I'm just I think that might be my thing. I think granny squares might be my calling, because I just love the repetition of it, every side is the same. I love watching it build out from the middle and adding interest row after row. Once it gets out to these outer edges where you're squaring it off and, and not much is going on, I get kind of bored then. I like the middle where you've got a lot of visual interest and you're doing all the different stitches and stuff. But that's just me. So those are my granny squares. What else did I crochet this week? So I still crocheted other stuff this week too. I also learned, and this is another Bag a Day crochet pattern. This is a diagonal. It's a diagonal stitch, diagonal cable, I think she calls it. But isn't that marvelous? Doesn't that look so cool? And it's cool because it's front and back. You can wear it front and back. And I'm making a scarf with this. And for this, I'm using Lion Brand Landscapes yarn, which I love Lion Landscapes. It's comparable to a Red Heart, what is that called? Red Heart Unforgettable. But I like the Lion brand a little bit better. It's a roving yarn, and it is very silky and nice to work with. So Maddie has a coat that is like this camel color here. And there's just so many other colors blended in with this colorway that it's going to just really accent her coat really well. And I showed it to her and she loves it. So I'm going to keep on working on this, and that'll be a scarf for Maddie. So I've got that going. And then I made a couple of hats. I made this hat, which this is a reversible hat. So this is just using Red Heart Super Saver. This is a Bag a Day crochet pattern as well. So it's reversible. This side you've got, your horizontal stripes, or you can wear it this way and it has the vertical stripes. So you can wear it either way. And this is a little bit, I have a small head, so this hat's a little bit big for me. So this is going to be a gift this will be, for someone else, because I won't be able to wear it. I've got a whole pile of hats now that need to find heads. So I need to find someone with a little bit bigger head than I have. And plus, how many hats do I need? Then I made yet another hat. So I am going to make a blanket for my friend Jody. And I was talking to her about colors. and she's told me what colors she liked. And I'm trying to find the right color in the right yarn because I want it to be a nice soft blanket, but I want it to be in the colors that she wants. So I had originally thought of using this Tender Touch, Yarn Bee Tender Touch yarn. It's very, very fuzzy and soft in the color Sage. And I showed, this is the same granny square pattern as that one that I'm using those purples and blues for. And I had thought of possibly doing it in this, but this is a 5-weight yarn, and I think that it's too bulky for this pattern. To see how it's kind of buckly. So I think this yarn might be just too bulky for this pattern. I even went up a hook size, and it's still kind of bulky for this, so I don't think it's going to lay right. But I just worked up a sample because I wanted her to feel the yarn and see the color. I was going to mail it off to her, but in seeing how the final product looks, I don't think that this is a viable option. So, you know, the rest of the skein, I just went ahead and worked up a hat. And this hat is probably my fanciest hat that I've made to date. So this is a beautiful pattern with cables. And I think it turned out absolutely magnificent. It's very, very pretty. It's a very tall hat. So it's, you know, meant to be slouchy. You know, you'd wear it slouchy, not, it's, you know, obviously nobody's head is that tall. So you'd wear it kind of slouched over a little bit. But it turned out really, really nice. This is my proudest hat so far. If I had to make another one of these, I think that I would make it a little bit shorter for myself. I would, and just have, you know, I don't care for a slouchy hat. I kind of like the beanie style better. But I will make another one of these. And it's a little bit big around for my head too. But like I said, I have a peanut head. So I think this is pretty much like standard size. But my head is kind of peanut. So like when I make normal hats, I always use like the teen size because, yeah, my head is small. All right. And then my last crochet project that I'm working on is I went to Michael's the other day. And I went to Michael's because I was looking for yarn for Jody's blanket. And I still haven't found the right yarn. If anybody has any suggestions, I want something nice and soft. I don't care what it's made of. Nice and soft, but that I can do that granny square pattern on. So not like a value yarn because none of those are soft enough that I've felt so far. I even picked up some Impeccable from Michael's, and I thought that felt nice and soft, but then I started working with it, and it really isn't all that soft. I want it to be a really soft blanket that she likes to snuggle in, you know? So if you've got any suggestions, I am open to suggestions for yarn for that blanket that would work well in that granny square pattern. All right. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much in advance. So anyways, while I was at Michael's, I got into some trouble. And the reason I got into trouble was they were having some clearance yarn for $5 a skein. So I picked up 6 skeins of this Loops and Threads Barcelona Roving yarn. You know what? You guys, I'm so sorry I'm talking about yarn so much. I'm just super excited about it right now. And my name is Craft NATO, not Diamond NATO. So I'll talk about it. You don't have to listen to me if you don't want to. Anyway, this is Barcelona Roving yarn. And I picked, and it was only $5. And it is 223 yards. And it's a super bulky 6. I thought that was an excellent deal. And I love the color. The color is actually like it's called pink, but it looks like more of a mauve to me, more of a purplish. Yeah, it's definitely a mauve. And this color, I've been told, looks very good on me. So I decided I'm going to make myself a sweater. So I'm going to make a pullover sweater with a cowl neck. I found a pattern on Bag O' Day Crochet, of course. And it's an oversized sweater. So this is the back panel. I've got the back panel finished. Or the front panel, because the back and the front are both the same. But this is the stitch. I think it's called the Suzette stitch is the name of the stitch that it is. But I like how nice and close it is with this being such a bulky yarn, I didn't want big holes in it. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be nice and closely knit. So I really like this stitch with this yarn. I wasn't sure if it was going to work at first, but it's working up really nice, and I do like it. So that's what I'm working on with that. And then I wanted to show you just real quick before we get started diamond painting and talk about other stuff other than yarn. I just want to show you real quick what else I got for $5 yarn. And I promise I won't take up a ton of time doing it. Okay, so I got some of this. I just, for the hell of it, because it was $5 and they had enough of one color to do something with. I got this, it's called Bernat Sheepy yarn, and it's sheepy. It's a sheepy yarn. And so I picked up 6 of these, I think. It's also a super bulky, what's the color? I don't know. It's a very pretty color, but it says that I can make this throw blanket on here with only 5 balls. So I'm going to make this throw blanket with it. So that's why I grabbed that. And like I said, like I mentioned a long time ago, there is a store, a country store very near my house that sells handmade crafts. And my goal is to get enough things made that I can put some things. I've already talked to the lady, and she's very good with the idea. I'm going to get enough things made that I can put them for sale in her country store. So that's what this is going to be for, this sheepy yarn. I'm going to make a blanket out of that. I'm just going to yeet that across the room. Then I did pick up 5 more cakes of the Karen tea cakes. If you remember, this is the yarn that I made my first sweater out of, and I loved working with it. It's wool. It's like a wool blend, and I love the feel of it on my body, and really liked working with it. And so I picked up as many as they had in this color, which is Gull. Yeah. Gull. It's just like blue, navy, gray, light gray, a little bit of green is in there. I didn't notice that green. That looks cool. But I really like this yarn a lot. So I picked up everything they had left in that color that was enough to make something with. It says you can make this wavy granny blanket with 5 balls. So maybe I'll make this blanket then with these 5 balls. Rather than another sweater. I don't know. We'll see. Then they had also Karen cakes, these crystal cakes. So I managed to get, there's a pattern on here for a beautiful, isn't that a really cool looking blanket? So it says that you need 3 balls of one color and 2 balls of the other color. And so they happen to have enough in coordinating colors that I got enough to make 2 of those blankets. One in these 2 colors. So I'm going to put these 2 together for one of the blankets. And then one in these 2 colors. And I think that that is going to look really, really pretty. Very pretty. This says it's a size 4. Yeah, size 4 weight, or not size 4, but 4 weight yarn. It looks thicker than that, probably because it's so fuzzy. But yeah, I guess it is pretty. It's actually, the strand is pretty thin, but it's got that metallic in there. Very pretty. I should give that a try and see how it works. But for $5, and there's, let me see how many yards are in here. 634 yards per cake for $5. I thought that was an excellent deal. So I picked those up, and that is the end of my yarn haul. I did end up, I told you guys I was going to do it. I'm just yeeting these across the room, get them out of my way so I can start diamond painting. I did tell you guys that I was going to place a large order with ice yarns. I ended up, because I went a little crazy at Michael's with that yarn, I ended up having to pare down that order by about half as much as I had originally anticipated spending. So I think in my cart I had like $450 worth of yarn. Yeah, couldn't do that. So I think I got like, with shipping and everything, it was like $200, which my shipping, and if you're not aware, shipping from Ice Yarn is outrageous. My shipping alone was $98. So half my damn order, well, almost half my order was just shipping costs, which is ridiculous, but it's coming from Turkey, and I think I got a lot of stuff, and their yarn is very, very reasonably priced. I watched some people unboxing some ice yarns, and it looked really nice, and I did kind of copy a few of the items that I thought looked particularly nice, because I didn't want to get into something where I didn't know what I was going to get. So I figured if I copied somebody else and I saw what it was ahead of time, I'd be better off. So that's what I did. And, but I did get at least one mystery bag. So I'm kind of excited about that. That should be really fun. Oh goodness, I've got stuff flying everywhere. And I don't have any, oh, there it is. I was going to say, I don't have any Not Your Mama's Mud in here. What is wrong with me? But of course I do. I have it everywhere in all of my crafting spaces. And I don't know, I've been looking in her shop because I need to restock my Not Your Mama's Mud. I like to keep that on hand for giveaways too, because I love it so much. For my giveaways, I like to share things that I love. And that's like my favorite wax. So I like to have some on hand for giveaways, and I like to have some on hand. I don't want to ever run low. I have fear of running low, and I don't want to have that fear. So I like to keep it on hand so I don't run out. Now, somebody had mentioned that, and I don't know if they were particularly talking about Not Your Mama's Mud or just about wax in general, about it drying out. I haven't had it happen so far with Not Your Mama's Mud where I've had to worry about it drying out. So I guess I use it up fast enough that I haven't had that happen yet. But I don't know. Do you guys ever have a problem with wax drying out? Let me know in the comments. And if you do, what is the solution? Can you fix it, or is it just junk? I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. So that is, so anyways, I've been kind of, every time I think about it, going on Etsy and looking in her shop. Now, I don't have notifications set up or anything. I don't know how to do all that. You guys know I'm a technological idiot. I don't have any notifications or anything set up for when she posts stuff. But every time I go look, there isn't any posted or listed. So I don't know if I've just been missing it, or maybe she's taking a little break or what. But I've got if anybody happens to see it, message me real quick and let me know so I can rush over there and get some, because I'm on my last 2 tins of it and I don't want to run out. I don't know what I would do if I honestly don't think I'd diamond paint if I didn't have it. That's how much I rely on it. What else? I've got a couple new diamond paintings to unbox. I've got a new Diamond Art Club that I haven't opened yet that came in the mail on Sunday. And I've got a Distracted by Diamonds that came on, I think, Friday, that I haven't even opened yet. I haven't even filmed the unboxing, as well as I've got unboxing videos that I've already filmed that I haven't posted yet. I don't know what is wrong with me. Sometimes I just get in a little bit of a funk, I think. And other things just sound like more fun. And of course, yesterday being my birthday, I felt like I didn't have to do any work yesterday because it was my birthday. So I didn't do anything yesterday. I didn't do any accounting on the Facebook group for the entries for for rest, relax, and enjoy the view, which I'll catch up with that today. That's not a big deal. It'll just take me a few minutes to catch up on it. But I didn't do any, I didn't respond to comments yesterday. I didn't post a video. I just didn't do anything. I didn't even check my email. Nothing. Took the day off. It was my birthday. So I turned 47 yesterday. And, I don't know, that doesn't feel too bad so far. I don't have any complaints. I enjoy my life a lot more now now that I'm older than I did when I was younger. I think that there are definitely benefits to getting older. I think that as women especially, we become more comfortable with ourselves, and more comfortable in our own skin. At least I did. I guess I shouldn't speak for everyone. But personally, I have become so much more accepting of myself for who I am with all my flaws. You know, when I was younger, I would look in the mirror 50 times before I walked out the door. My hair had to be perfect. My clothes had to be perfect. I would change clothes 3 times and couldn't decide what to wear, and, you know, was always worried that I didn't look my best. So self-conscious about my weight, and even though I was thin. But now that I'm older, I just take it all in stride. I mean, I've got gray hair, I'm wrinkly, I don't have the greatest clothes. That's by choice because I choose to spend my money on other things. You know, but I don't care. I'm comfortable with myself that I don't care. I think I realized one day I went to the store or something, and I was already out in the store, and I realized that I hadn't even looked in the mirror that day. I don't know what my hair looked like, anything. I hadn't brushed my hair. I hadn't washed my face. I just got in the car and went to the store. Didn't even look at myself in the mirror. So, I guess in those kind of ways it can be more of a curse than a blessing, but in most respects, I think it's a blessing. I really feel like getting older has been a good thing for me, personally. And I know I'm not, that old, but I'm not, I'm no spring chicken anymore. My body can feel it, I can tell you that. My body knows it's 47 and not 27 anymore. I do miss that. I miss the things that I used to be able to do physically when I was younger, but I don't miss the feelings of self-consciousness that I used to have at all. How do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like as you've gotten older, you've gotten more comfortable with yourself? And this, I mean, that applies to any age. I don't care if you're 20 or 80. If you're 20, do you feel better about yourself now than you did when you were 16? Or am I weird? I don't know. I'm more self-confident and I'm more self-accepting and all that good stuff. But other than going to breakfast, taking my dad to the doctor and going to breakfast, I didn't do anything special for my birthday. We went last Saturday. Oh, you guys, if you watched my live on Saturday, you know that we actually celebrated my birthday last Saturday when Maddie was in town. Jeff took us to dinner at a local Mexican restaurant, and Maddie and I got a little schnockered on $18 margaritas that were the size of our heads. So that was my birthday celebration, was on Saturday. So on my actual birthday, we didn't do anything. I did get a couple of gifts. I got some money from my dad, which I promptly spent on yarn. And I got a gift card from Nema Jennifer, which I promptly spent on yarn. I found a pattern for a really cute little girl's dress, but it's made out of cotton yarn, and I don't have any cotton. And I really, really want to make these dresses for my granddaughters. So I went ahead and ordered the cotton yarn from Joann's using my birthday gift card. which some people might say, well, then you're not really getting something for yourself if you're making something for someone else. I beg to differ, because to me, my joy in life is crafting, and I can't possibly keep everything that I make. So why not enjoy myself and enjoy my time doing what I love, but then also making something that someone else will love? So it's still a gift to me, even though I'm not going to end up with the final result of it. I still feel like it was a gift to me. So I hope it won't take too long for that to ship, because I really want to work on those dresses. They're summer dresses, but you have to remember my granddaughters live in Tennessee now. So in Nashville, spring is going to come a lot sooner than it is going to for us here in Michigan. So they'll have a chance to wear them a lot sooner in the year than they would if they were still living here. So I'd like to get them made and shipped out to them. Or maybe I'll hand deliver them. I was thinking about trying to plan a trip down there for the end of February. It's about a 10-hour drive for me. But, you know, all I'll need to pay for is gas, which gas is getting ridiculous, I realize. But, you know, I'll obviously stay with them, and obviously they'll feed me. I hope. I guess I shouldn't assume anything, right? Probably should clear that up first. No, she'll feed me. I mean, I'll pitch in, but, you know, I'll just eat with the family. But there's not going to be any extra expenses, is what I guess I mean. It's not like I'm going to a theme park or, you know, on a vacation or shopping or anything like that. So it should be a fairly inexpensive trip if I drive down there for a long week. Now, Maddie wants to go, which means we can only go for a weekend. So if Maddie goes, then it's just going to be for a weekend. We'll leave right after she gets out of work on Friday and be home for her to go to work on Monday morning. But if I go by myself, then I'll probably make it worth my while and stay for about 5 or 6 days, I think. As long as Emily and I can stand each other, that's how long I'll stay. As long as I can tolerate the monsters, that's how long I'll really stay. I'm kidding. I love those girls. They are little monsters, though. They're sweethearts, but little monsters. So that's my plan for the end of the month of February. I'm super excited about that. I love road trips. Now, it's really difficult for me to drive anymore. I have a hard time because of my my hips and my back and my pudendal nerve issues. I have a very difficult time sitting for any length of time upright. So even just sitting here for this hour to do my WIP and Chat with you guys in my craft room is very difficult on me, to remain in one spot for that long. I do have a contoured pillow that has the back cut out so your tailbone can hang down, and that does help a lot, but it still is tough for me to drive, you know, for a long period of time like that. So it might be good if Maddie does come, because then we could break up the driving like we did when we went to Missouri. That worked out really nice, that we were able to split the driving time. So I guess that's one consideration of getting older. Your body just doesn't behave the way it used to. You don't have the longevity that you used to for things like road trips. But it's all worth it in the end. It's all worth it. So yeah. So anyways, my birthday, we didn't do anything. We actually had McDonald's for dinner. Blech, yuck. But it's Nate's favorite, and we couldn't decide what we wanted for dinner, so we let Nate decide, and he chose McDonald's. He loves their Filet-O-Fish sandwich, and right now they have them 2 for $6, which is a pretty decent deal. So we had Filet-O-Fish sandwiches, and yeah, that was it. That was my birthday. I didn't even get a birthday cake or anything. I was a little bit pissed about that. I'm not going to lie. I was a little salty about not getting a birthday cake. But I suppose if I wanted one, I probably should have just made one myself or bought one myself. Because really, I don't think many people would expect their husbands to think of getting them a cake. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Jeff is really, really good about a lot of things, but he's not a baker. He'll cook, he'll clean, he'll do everything else, but he doesn't bake. Oh, there's a new thing that he does too now. You'll notice with all of my crochet projects that I showed you, none of the ends are woven in on any of those things that I showed you. Yeah, I hate weaving in the ends. And I taught Jeff how to do it when we made all those Christmas tree skirts for Christmas. So I figure I am just going to, on a night when he's sitting watching a basketball game or whatever, I'm just going to give him the darning needle and the projects and let him just go to town weaving in ends. So that's my plan. I say for a lot of things in my life, I say, I got a guy for that. Well, that's going to be my new thing for weaving in ends. I got a guy for that. Jeff's going to be my end weaving guy. And I don't feel bad about it at all. He does a mighty fine job. So yeah. So over the weekend, coming up this weekend, we don't have any plans. I am still planning to go live on Saturday. Maddie will not be home this weekend. So this will be my first week that I will be going live solo. So that should be fun. Little bit different, a little bit more of talking to you guys rather than Maddie and I talking amongst ourselves. It might actually work out better. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a little bit different. Just know that. Just know that. But we'll still have a good time. And maybe if Maddie's home and she's bored, maybe she'll want to pop on StreamYard, and maybe she'll be here, maybe she'll be here anyways. She really enjoys it. She is the one who always pushes to go live. I mean, I'm never opposed to it at all, but she really enjoys doing it. So if she's home Saturday night, actually, I think, is this Saturday night her weekend? No, it's next Saturday. So yeah, this Saturday she should be home, unless she's going out with friends or something. Next Saturday, her and her friend Mackenzie they've planned a girls' weekend. They got a hotel room in downtown Detroit. They're going to go out to a fancy dinner, and they made appointments to get tattoos. They're going to get little matching tattoos, which she's 24 years old. I can't have an opinion. It's her body, so I'm not even going to go into my opinions on it. My daughter Emily is heavily tattooed, and you wouldn't know it from looking at her because she looks so sweet and innocent and mother hen-ish, and her personality is very sweet, innocent, and mother hen-ish. You would never think that she would be as heavily tattooed as she is, but that girl has a lot of tattoos. In fact, she just got another new one the last time I saw her. I don't know, she's going to run out of spots to put them, I'm afraid. So, yeah. So Maddie's going to go get a tattoo with her friend Mackenzie. And that's not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. And then I had an idea. We have, this is kind of a funny story. So we have these friends. We have been friends with the Allens for 18 years, 15, 16, 17 years, a long time. Our daughters, they have two daughters that are the same ages as our daughters, and they were friends growing up. And we were friends. So all of us, we would hang out, and we would hang out every single weekend. Every Friday at least, and most Saturdays also. We were big partiers back when we were younger. And we partied with them every weekend, and we'd have the girls with us, and we would usually we went to their house, and our girls would spend the night there because obviously we're not going to, And sometimes we spent the night there too if we had been drinking. But every weekend we played cards. And we played Texas Hold'em. Now, my husband, you probably know a little bit about him just from me talking about him. I would like to know if anybody else has a spouse or a partner who is like my husband, or if he's just absolutely one of a kind. We have not played cards with the Allens in years, and not because of any falling out, not because we don't like them anymore, not for any other reason than that I refused to play cards with Jeff anymore. He is such a poor sport. He's the kind of person where if he's going to do something, he's going to put his 110% into it. He's going to learn everything there is to know about that thing. He's going to practice that thing until he's blue in the face, until he is good at it, until he knows the ins, the outs, the rules, the suggestions, if you've got this hand, you should fold. If you've got this hand, you should raise. You shouldn't raise if you're in this position after the dealer. You should raise if you're in this position after the dealer. Yada, yada, yada. So in his mind, there's all these rules to poker, right? And in our minds, ours being mine and Jenny's, and I think Kevin's, in our minds, we're playing a friendly game of Texas Hold'em. Now, granted, there is a little bit of wagering involved. Not a lot. We would bet $5 a game, $5 per person per game. So whoever won the game won $20, which you had put $5 in, so really you won $15. And, probably 9 times out of 10, we all ended up, within $5 of what we started out with. So it's not like we were wagering a lot of money, or going home with a lot of money, or losing a lot of money, but just to make it a little bit interesting and make you take it a little bit seriously. We just put a few bucks on it. Well, it got to the point where, Jenny and I were mostly just BSing while we're playing this game. I mean, we're half-assed paying attention to the game, but really we're just talking and catching up and chit-chatting and solving the problems of the world, right? That's what we would always say we were doing. We're solving all the problems of the world. And we did. We solved a lot of the world's problems. It's amazing when you're partying how smart you can be. Yeah. So we solved a lot of the world's problems, but we weren't always giving our 110% focus to the game. And nor had we studied the game and the rules and the suggestions and the, this is what you should play when, rules or recommendations, I guess. Well, let's say there was a hand that I played. And let's say Jeff had a better hand going into it than I did. And I stayed in the hand. At the end of the round, when the cards were flopped over, and he would see what I stayed in with, if it wasn't textbook, like if the textbook said I should have folded that hand, but I had gotten lucky and cards were drawn into the flop that helped my hand and I then won the hand, he would get so mad that he would shove chips across the table or throw his cards down, or he would just get so angry. Not in a violent way, but in a pouty little kid kind of way. Like, I'm going to take my toys and go home kind of way. And so it got to a point where it just plain was not enjoyable to play cards with him anymore. So I quit playing with him. I just said, no, we're not doing that anymore. I am not going to play cards with you. You don't know how to behave in public. And so we're not going to be able to do it. So for years and years and years, we have not played cards with the Allens. And you know, I really, really miss it. So I thought, and I'm thinking that this weekend I am going to invite them over to play cards, and we shall see if with age Jeff's demeanor has improved. Now, he's not into Texas Hold'em like he was then, where he was, you know, watching it on TV and reading the rules and playing online and all of that stuff. Never for money did he play online, just for fun. But he was, you know, playing online, and he was even in a league here in town, a Texas Hold'em league. He went once a week and played with guys. They played, I think, at a bowling alley or something, in the back room of a bowling alley. There was a league. Yeah. So he was that serious about it. He got like that about golf. He got to the point where one time he actually broke a club because he was so mad at himself that he missed a shot or that he swung bad or whatever. He got that way with cornhole, where he would, I told you guys about, and maybe you didn't watch the live, but I was talking about it in a live. He built cornhole boards, and he built several sets, and he did a absolutely knockout gorgeous job of building them. And we gave them as gifts to family and friends, and I think he even sold a couple sets to people. But he has a set in his pole barn, and he uses them, you know, because the pole barn has quite a high ceiling, so he can still play in the pole barn even in the winter. So I was out there one day, and I was looking for something on his tool bench, and I came across these two weathered, used, worn-looking notebooks. And I thought, and you know, I'm being nosy, and I'm thinking, oh, what is this? What is Jeff, you know, what's he got going on in these notebooks? I'm thinking I'm going to open it up and I'm going to read his like deepest, darkest secrets or whatever. So I open up these notebooks. There's two of them, mind you. Every page is written on in two spiral-bound notebooks, full of scores from cornhole. He was playing against himself every day, multiple times a day, multiple games a day, and keeping track of the scores of every game, of every bag he threw. He would score it. Every round he threw, he would score it. So when he gets into something, he really gets into it. And maybe that's why him and I get along, because I guess I'm kind of like that too, aren't I? If I get into something, I really get into it. Like, yeah, with like crochet and like diamond painting. Oh, and I've also got some cross-stitch stuff that I need to show you guys too. I've got quite a bit of cross-stitch haul that I have not showed you. But I'm going to show it to you soon. I think I'll do a separate video for that and show you everything I have that I've gotten in and what I've been working on. Because I have been working on my cross-stitch a little bit as well. I don't ask me where I find the time. I don't know. I just do. All I do is craft all the time. Like, literally, I say that and I don't think people take me seriously. But I literally craft from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. And when you don't sleep, that even gives you that many more hours a day to craft. So I'm always working on something. The only thing I haven't done lately is I haven't worked on any miniatures lately. I got one out was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I got one out because I thought I missed it, and because I hadn't worked on it, and I thought I got it out of the box and I started looking at the directions, and it just wasn't calling to me. And I'm not gonna force myself. To me, crafting is my way of life. I mean, it's what I do, but it's also my enjoyment. And if I am not getting enjoyment out of it, then I'm not going to do it. Like week before last, I diamond painted like crazy. I don't think I touched a crochet hook in 5 days week before last. I just was diamond painting my head off. I got so much done. This week, I have barely diamond painted at all. I've been primarily crocheting. So I do what I feel like doing when I feel like doing it, and I refuse to be pressured. Even though I have a channel, I'm not going to be pressured into doing the craft that I want, I'm not going to be pressured into doing something that I don't want to do. And neither should you. You should do what makes you happy, all the time, with your leisure time. I understand that, with jobs and what I'm caring for family and stuff like that, might not always be what you want to do. But when it comes to your leisure time, if it's not making you happy, don't do it. In fact, coming on that subject, I'm way over an hour here now, but I'm going to keep talking. I don't care. If you guys don't want to listen, you can turn me off. Because I still have more stuff to say. On that note, I have a diamond painting. It is a Diamond Art Club. I'm not going to tell you which one it is because I'm not talking bad about the diamond painting itself. There's nothing at all wrong with the product. It is a good and decent product. I am about 1/3 of the way into it. I would say 1/3 of the way into it. And I don't like the way it is turning out. I just don't like it. It's not fun to work on, and it doesn't look good. And so I kept kind of goading myself, pushing myself to work on it. I'd have other things sitting there that I wanted to work on, and I would think to myself, oh, but I really should work on that one. I haven't worked on it in a while. It's just sitting there, and I haven't touched it, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? I've come to the conclusion, I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. So what? What's going to happen? If I decide, and it's a bigger canvas, if I decide I don't want to do it and I'm not enjoying it, why should I do it? Why? I don't know. I'm not going to. So, in fact, but hey, if anybody else wants to do it, I'd be more than happy to mail it to you with the drills. I'd have to kit it down into baggies because I got it kitted up, but I won't tell you what it is. It'd be a surprise. It's a Diamond Art Club. It's a square. If you want it, first person to let me know, I will mail it to you. How about that? Otherwise, because I'm not going to do it. I don't have a desire. I will say this thing. It's a painting that's not everybody's cup of tea. It is one of the darker images, and it's not something that it's not it's not one of those universal ones where everybody looks at it and says, "Oh, that's cool." So just know that before you raise your hand and volunteer. I've got another diamond painting that, and I don't know, and this is a good question to ask you guys as long as we're on the subject. I had ordered 2 Josephine Wall canvases. I ordered one from Uniquely Yours Down Under, and I ordered one from Diamond Painting Deutschland. Both of them were quite pricey. There's nothing wrong with the Uniquely Yours Down Under one. I just don't care for it as much as I like the Diamond Painting Deutschland one. And I don't think that I want to do the Uniquely Yours Down Under one. Now, I have started it. I have almost finished one section of it. It is a huge canvas, huge, like 120 by 90 or something like that, something ridiculous. It's squares. Would it be is there anybody out there in the world that would want that, being that I already started it? I hate to just throw it away because, like I said, it was expensive. Now, it is double-sided tape. I know a lot of people don't like double-sided tape, but I don't know if there's anybody out there that would even want that being that I already started it. You know what I actually think I'm going to do with it, now that I've thought about it a little bit? Because I don't want to have to pay to ship it, because it would be really expensive to ship because it is so big. I think what I'll do is I think I'm going to take it with me to the retreat in June and see if anybody there wants it. That's probably a good idea. Or do you think that's rude because I have already started it? Do you think that's a rude thing to do, to take it and say, hey, does anybody want this diamond painting I already started? Or, I don't know, I just feel bad wasting it I don't want to just throw it away and waste it, because like I said, it was expensive and it's probably beautiful. I don't like it as much as I like the Diamond Painting Deutschland one. I guess, being a diamond painting snob. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Just, you know, everybody's got their own preferences, and I actually did go ahead and order, it's the Three Graces from Josephine Wall. And I liked the Diamond Painting Deutschland one, version of Diana so much that I went ahead and ordered the Three Graces from Diamond Painting Deutschland. So I already have that. I've replaced it with the one from Diamond Painting Deutschland already. So I don't need two of the same canvas anyway. So it's right now it's just a extra copy sitting there taking up space. But yeah, so anyway, boy, oh boy, am I flopping all over the place today. Can tell I haven't slept. About the playing cards thing. We haven't done it in so long that I'm thinking, oh, did I already say that? I think I might have. I'm thinking Jeff might have toned himself down a little bit. So I'm thinking about inviting the Allens over this weekend to see if they want to play cards. Because I feel like that would be fun. We haven't done it in so long, and I feel like that would be a good time. But it'd have to be Friday, because I'm going to be going live on Saturday. So, oh, and that's tomorrow already. Well, I better get on the stick if I'm going to do that. Better get a hold of her and see if she wants to do that. So, I've been talking to Mindy a little bit about our next adventure, and there's actually a yarn store near my house that I want to check out. And so hopefully Mindy's going to come up and spend the day up here in my neck of the woods, and we're going to go hopefully see another yarn store together and have some lunch and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that coming up in the hopefully near future. And that's all I've really got going on, looking out into the future for now. So yeah. So go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section and use the word landscape if you participated in the event, if you'd like to win the prize for this week. Don't forget to post your progress picture in the Facebook group tab for week 4. And that is all. So thank you for watching and subscribing and listening to all my ramblings about yarn and everything else under the sun. And I hope that I will see you in my next video. Take care, you guys. Thanks a lot.